evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcasts, the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
What is up, my good wrestling fans? Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode number 385. Big Hoss, how's everybody? How's life treating you up there in West Virginia?
Oh, it's going pretty good. How about yourself there, Chris?
Oh man, it's been we had a great couple of weeks of wrestling with Dynamo Pro. We got some more great action coming up this whole month. It's St. Louis is hopping right now with wrestling action. And I believe WDWA has an event this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, they've got a big event coming up, and this event, Clay Jacobs, or whatever he wants to call himself this week. I mean, he's got like 5 different names. He is actually going to go in an unsanctioned match against ISP.
Nice.
So they're going to start off by signing waivers for this match, because these two have just been at it, and I can't wait to see it. I tell you,
ISP is not one man to mess with. But can we get Joey Lance tasered again just for the fun of it? I mean,
I don't know. After he got tasered and beat up last time, actually it was time before last, but anyway, the last time he was beat up, he walked around at the last show with a neck brace on all night.
God!
So,
but he'll like this, because I believe it's not quite yet confirmed, but we might be actually having his favorite wrestler, the Snitch, on the show later this month. So I'm working on it. Me and Luke are working on it. So we're hoping to make it happen. So I think that'll make Joey very happy.
Oh yeah, I have heard the rumors that might be happening, and I've even heard rumors that he may be wanting to join for that show. So.
I mean, he should. I mean, he's gonna just praise all over the Snitch. But I mean, it'll be kind of awkward to see. But I mean, I guess we all gotta do something. So, but I guess I need to bring in my co-host for this week, the one and only, the media director of Dynamo Pro Wrestling, St. Louis wrestling legend.
I'm not sure if he's ready yet. I don't see his camera on.
Uh-oh.
Up there he is. Okay.
St. Louis wrestling legend, and he takes care of us here at the Wrestle Talk Podcast by making sure we got everybody booked and times and set and everything. So bring in the one and only Luke Roberts. Luke, my brother.
Well, gentlemen, first of all, Chris, thank you for such a warm introduction. And just to let you know, no, that does not mean we're going to trade offices once we're done getting all the renovations done. First of all, I want to give a fair bit of a shout out to all of the great viewers of the Wrestle Talk Podcast who are here on the program tonight. Also, I want to say that the previous views were that of Chris Rodell, and Chris Rodell specifically himself. I know Joe has been recovering from that incident, and again, it's one of those I couldn't even begin to fathom having what happened to Joe happen inside the squared circle. Also, Chris, to give you an idea, as you can see right here, I've got a large amount of information here as it relates to the interview with the Snitch. I don't know what it's been, but since he won his match with Outcast, it seems like there's been even more and more and more and more and more paperwork from his representation. I don't know what it is.
I know we've been negotiating to get him on the show. What's he asking for? Is he asking for like blue M&Ms or I'm
going to tell you right now, this is the most recent copy that I've gotten. And again, ever since he won the match with Outcast, and again, shout out to Outcast too as well here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast this evening. it seems like every time I turn around, there's something new from the Snitch. And right now, you would agree with me, Chris. He has been a very vicious man since winning that matchup. He wants to make a statement. And if he's going to come here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, I don't know what to expect. Like I said, we've got a lot of great people already joining us here this evening on the program.
Unfortunately, Dick Douglas is here. So,
you know, I have to say last week he was gone taking care of the State of the Union. He was doing a wonderful job taking care of that. I know he has been traveling around the world presenting his message to all of those in the professional wrestling world that are there. Also, as Sonny Money put out there just a few moments ago, shout out to Mike Outlaw. Had a death in his family this past week. Again, our condolences, our thoughts, everything going out to the family of Mike Outlaw. A lot of bad things going on in the world of professional wrestling. And
you know what? Hold on, time out. Dick Douglas is just mad because he was booed out of the Concordia Turners Hall last month at Mardi Gras Mayhem or Mardi Gras Mischief.
That is true, and like I said, there's a lot of things to talk about here, and I'm just going to let the commentary go for right now. It's already going to be
I feel like Renee and Dick Douglas are taking their regular show to the comment section. I mean, it's great to see. I mean, I love it. I mean,
well, I got to tell you right now, guys. I mean, again, we want to first of all say thank you to all the viewers that are watching tonight. We got a lot of great wrestling action here, and also make it a point to check out your comments because, like I said, we're right here. KCXW coming back into action on April 23rd in Kansas City, Kansas. Guys, we got a great show. We got the returning Tim Miller.
I was going to say, before we talk about the guests, do we want to talk about Dynamo Pro Wrestling returning on the 26th of March with Lethal Lottery? I mean,
well, tell you what, let's hold on to that because we want to talk about our great guest tonight. We've got this is kind of like a MMWA episode because we have longtime MMWA personality returning to the show. Tim Miller coming on the program here at about 7:30. We've been working on things. And again, I have to say a very special shout out to the tech crew. We've had a lot of technical issues this evening trying to get things ready to go for tonight's program. And again, we got Tim Miller who's going to be on at about 7:30. And then 8:15, we're going to have another face-to-face confrontation fresh off the conversation last week between the infamous Tyler Copeland and Mr. Extraordinary Benjamin Trust, Predator champion versus championship match. Shout out to both men. From what I've seen, it was a great matchup. Benjamin Trust wind up walking out with 2 championship belts. We're going to have a great show here tonight. Dynamo Pro Wrestling is going to be in action. We're going to be talking a little more about the Lethal Lottery coming up here on March 26th. We've also got a couple other events coming up in April and we're going to talk about tonight. But you know something, guys? Besides our great viewers and besides all the people behind the scenes that help make this very, very meaningful broadcast happen each and every week, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take just a minute and acknowledge our sponsors. And Hoss, you can go ahead and put those sponsors here on the screen. We want to thank Everything Combat, Kincaid Arcade, Esports Bar, Kansas City. Our good friends over at Interstate 70 Sports Media had an opportunity to be on Roundabout Sports last Wednesday evening with the maestro Jeremy Karp. Royal Mills Transportation, Painter's Dream Productions, the fine folks that put together our website. Rathbun Engraving, home of the FWWC mugs. The Wrestle Talk Podcast mugs. ETS the Rentals. We have our good friends over at the FWWC. And guys, I got to tell you right now, I don't know if you've had a chance to go online and look, but if you've ever needed a stylish haircut, you need something to take care of things for a great look, you need to make it a point. After you've gotten an opportunity to get things done, you need to check out Noble Men's Barber Lounge in Kansas City. Had an opportunity. I keep seeing more things from Pete the Barber, and there have been so many cool things that he can do with hairstyles and things like that. Guys, he is just phenomenal. If you want a great haircut and you're in the Kansas City area, check him out. A great experience you will have.
And Haas, do you have one of those Wrestle Talk mugs that we've been talking about? Do you have the Wrestle Talk mug there that you can show them from Rathbun Engraving? That's right. You can get that. You reach out to one of us. We'll get you hooked up to where you need to go to order it.
$20 plus shipping and handling.
Yeah, and it makes the drink taste 21% better.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. And you know something, guys? I was just thinking about it. And again, I got to admit, I kind of stumbled over my words today. It's been a long Tuesday. I mean, we talk about the snitch. We talk about our guests. You know something, guys? I think I'm just kind of thinking ahead here. Maybe we need to visit the idea of the FWWC mug.
I mean, it's the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. Haas is a big part of that.
Oh yeah, I'm a general manager on the Infinite brand this year, and it's a good time over there. We all enjoy it.
And Susie's also a part of it. Shout out to Susie, taking good care of Haas all the time. So
that is true. And Chris, like I said, I believe in Haas
and also
every Thursday night.
Is it? When's the podcast for that?
Thursday nights at 7:30. You guys' time.
7:30 Central, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Make it a point to check them out. If you want to be a part of the world's greatest professional wrestling fantasy group, the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide chapter, you can also get more information on that, WrestleTalkPodcast.com. And also you can make it a point to check it out on social media. Guys, I got to tell you, since the last time we talked, man, has the landscape of professional wrestling changed. There is so much stuff to talk about. I don't know how we're going to fit everything into High Spots tonight.
Right. We could do just a whole show just of High Spots, but I think actually we need to throw it over to Big Hoss because we got one more thing we got to do before we get to High Spots.
That is true. And Chris,
we got the national.
You got to take care of some stuff too here. So
yeah, we got the national anthem to take care of. So
yes, we
do. Big Hoss, take it away. This is usually Joey usually takes care of it. We used to take care of this all the time. I think it's most appropriate for you to go ahead and lead us in to honoring this great, great country.
That's right. So it's at this time, if you would please remove your cap if you're wearing one, place your hands over your heart as we honor the best damn country around, and that is America. Damn it.
Oh, God. Oh,
gentlemen, I got to tell you, right
it brings a tear to your eye, but I don't know if it's a tear of joy or a tear of God. Thank God it's over.
Well, you know something, guys. It's always a great thing each and every week as we pay homage to the country known as the United States of America here. And again, one of those opportunities here to recognize all of our great men and women here in the United States of America, as well as our armed forces, making sure that we recognize them each and every week. Also, guys, I was just sitting here looking at some of the comments that have been going on here. We've got some new people in the house. We're going to have some more guests. We've got a couple people who've joined us tonight who we're going to have here in the next couple weeks. But you know something right now, gentlemen, it's time for that big spot every week. And thank you for putting that up there on the screen.
Right. We've wondered that for months. I mean, it's slightly better than the Carl Lewis one. And when I say slightly better, I mean not really. I mean,
well, you know something, guys. If you have an opportunity to find or have any recommendations for anything on the show, make it a point to put it in the chat. We got a lot of great things that we're going to be adding to the show as the weeks and the months go on. Gentlemen, we can't delay anymore. So let's go ahead, Hoss, if you would hit the music for this week's episode of the High Spot segment right here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Mic check, mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast.
top like I'm one of Steeples of Black Knock. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. On the clock fast, like a barely fuck that ass on. We up the speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast, now they know we about to start the show.
Real quick, let's put this up. We got the commissioner of the MMWA in the house tonight. We got Shaft in the house tonight, taking good care of things. He takes care of things every Thursday night from I believe it starts at 5. Am I right? Outside the ring.
I believe it's 5 to 7 outside the ring. STL. Also got to give a shout out to DJ Money with that great High Spots introduction. And also, we didn't mention him earlier, but we want to spend a special thank you out to Hank Hudson, who gave us that great introduction to the show that you hear each and every week right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Now, Hoss, I got to tell you right now, you put up the first question, and I'm going to turn things over to Chris here in a minute. The first question that we have tonight that we're going to talk about, was Revolution the best AEW pay-per-view in company history? Chris, I'm going to go ahead and throw things over to you here because there's a lot of stuff we can talk about in the world of AEW right now.
I was going to say Revolution was really good. It's probably been one of the better ones that I've seen. I missed several of the pay-per-views when they first started. I did not watch All In, which they just acquired because of the purchase of Ring of Honor. So, but Revolution was a really good pay-per-view, top to bottom. It was long. It was kind of long, but it didn't seem long because I mean, you had so much happening. And can we give a shout out to Sting, 62 years old, and channeling New Jack with that spot, with that table spot? I mean, you guys both saw that table spot, right?
Yes, sir.
62 years old. He's going to be 63 in a couple of weeks. Are you kidding me?
Well, I got to tell you right now, guys, as we talk about it, there was one thing that really surprised me. And that's one thing I've really come to enjoy from AEW is you hear all the things about professional wrestlers from across the globe joining professional wrestling companies, in particular AEW. But the one that surprised me after a phenomenal contest between Bryan Danielson and John Moxley, who appears but William Regal. That one to me, I got to tell you right now, right then and there, I don't know what it was. I just felt like AEW just got turned in a completely different direction. The idea, if those three men come together, just the technical ability blended with the violence that they could bring, it's going to be an unreal time. And I got to tell you right now, we've been seeing a lot of things here on the chat. Guys,
I squealed a little bit whenever Regal came out. I'm like, that's Regal. I mean, it was.
You know something too, Chris? You got to look at it again. I know we've talked about it too. The main event matchup between Adam Cole and Adam Page. I was going to say Adam Pearce. We shove out to Adam Pearce too. I know that he's been traveling in the last few days as well. But Adam Page, Adam Cole, I got to tell you, I was impressed. Both the men delivered on their main event matchup. And I got to tell you right now, to me, I don't say that Revolution was the best pay-per-view that AEW's had, but I got to tell you, from what I saw, it was definitely worth the money spent. Hoss, you've been kind of sitting there quiet on the topic. What are your thoughts about Revolution?
Honestly, I did not get to actually watch Revolution. I have seen, some highlights here and there from different things. And it looks like it was a pretty good pay-per-view. But I have also heard from a lot of people that, they don't think it was the best pay-per-view that they could have put on. They feel there were things that could have been better, but, there's things that everybody likes and everybody dislikes. So
I actually think that the women's title match between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa kind of underdelivered for once. And I don't think it matched up to their lights out match that they had, previously.
Well, I got to tell you right now, Chris, I don't know realistically. I mean, these two women have a very storied history. I don't know after that lights out match. I don't know if you can follow that. Those two women left everything they could in the ring. And I mean, again, it was a solid matchup. I mean, both women.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like it didn't grip you. I mean,
I can see where you're coming from on that. But again, we talk about Revolution, and while we were at it, another thing out there, and it's kind of strange that we have to talk about the 6 days removed from the big announcement. Tony Khan announcing that he has purchased Ring of Honor. I mean, we kind of tie this into the AEW pay-per-view. I got to look at it right now. I'm one of those where I felt that that Ring of Honor would be coming back. I mean, that's my view, and it's been my view for a long time. But the idea of the owner of AEW was the one that purchased Ring of Honor. There are so many avenues that this can go now. And I got to tell you right now, this really has me intrigued. Haas, I'm going to go Haas here. Haas, what do you think about the sale of ROH to Tony Khan?
You know, honestly, I am also one that I thought ROH would come back, and I was hoping to see them return to the original glory that they had when they first started. So I was surprised at the sale, and I'd love to really know how he's going to use that. I've heard that, you know, he may put another show on under their banner. I have heard that he bought them just for the tape library. So I'd love to know how he's really going to use it, because I would hate to see them get buried at this point, because they really had a good product before they had to cease operations for a while.
And that's the thing. The tape library is probably one of the most valuable things they have, since it goes back to 2012, I believe.
I know, Chris. I think we were talking about it before. I think as Tony Khan said, you're looking at the idea of 20 plus years. And you know something here? We got a couple of cool comments here. One, again, Sunny Money bringing out there. Love to have the opportunity to see a Ring of Honor show. Also talked about CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, kind of in a reunion deal. And another name, as we can see here, former guest of the show, Jeremy Lightfoot, bringing something forward here. And Haas, I want you to go ahead real quick here, and I want you to throw up Mr. Lightfoot's comment as well. Brings up a real interesting point, and I got to tell you, it definitely interests me. Hopefully with the purchase, we'll see Delirious in an AEW ring. That intrigues me just as much as the sale.
Right. I mean, and the thing that Tony Khan one gets from the sale is he finally gets his hands on the footage of All In, which was the, I guess you could say, the springboard to what AEW became, because from what I understand, the Bucks own the branding of it, but Ring of Honor owned the footage of it, because they used the Ring of Honor production crew and everything. So ROH owned that. So now he's got that he can play off of. But yeah, Delirious in an AEW ring. Delirious is such a smart man. I mean, I can't have a conversation with him because I don't understand him, but he's a great wrestler. I've seen him in matches here in the St. Louis area. I've seen footage of him with like Billy McNeil and Dingo and all of that. So I just
and Chris, you got to look at one thing too. The idea of Delirious, we could potentially see yet again Delirious versus Matt Sydal.
Yes,
a match
exactly.
that originated here in St. Louis. And I got to tell you right now, when you look at those kinds of things, I mean, again, the possibilities truly are endless with this transaction taking place. And I got to tell you right now, you talk about Delirious. If you have an opportunity to go back to WrestleTalkPodcast.com, you can catch a very exclusive interview that the Ring of Honor Zone Delirious took part in as a part of the Wrestle Talk podcast at NatsuCon. Very few professional wrestling podcasts, any form of media, has interviews with Delirious. Check out the Wrestle Talk podcast, and you can hear Delirious live as we were able to talk with them during
and the Ring of Honor thing actually kind of brings you back. We kind of go full circle here. We go back to Revolution, where CM Punk came out in his Ring of Honor gear to the AFI song that he came out to for a long time as kind of a throwback, which people are like, why do you come out to that, not to Cult of Personality? It's storytelling. It was like the whole thing was back when MJF was a fan. So MJF was a fan of CM Punk and Ring of Honor. Why not break out the Ring of Honor tights, the Ring of Honor music? You know, I guess I didn't watch Ring of Honor back in those days, so I don't really remember that. But as people said, it's a good throwback.
Well, guys, I got to tell you right now, we could spend, like you said, Chris, we could spend the most of this show, if not more, talking about AEW. But we would be remiss to conclude this high spot segment without talking about WWE. And I got to tell you right now, last night, one of the things that really registered with me the most, there's a lot of things that would register with the fans of professional wrestling. The thing that registered with me most last night about Monday Night Raw was Edge's entrance into the ring. I got to tell you, on one hand, I sensed an energy that I haven't sensed in a long time. But also, it kind of made me a little bit uneasy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. To me, something about Edge was different. We talked about Chris Jericho in the past, always being able to reinvent himself. I think last night, we very well could have seen the next phase of the career of the Rated R Superstar. And I got to tell you,
it was an Undertaker-esque type intro. I mean, you know, with the purple light and everything. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll give it some time because I think Edge and AJ Styles is probably going to be a banger of a match anyway. So that's not even a question. I just don't know exactly where they're going yet. So I need to kind of see this a little bit further down the line.
That is true. And like I said, we had a couple other major things go on. And Hoss, I'm going to ask you about this one. The next thing to talk about is RK Bro winning back the Raw Tag Team Championships. What are your thoughts about RK Bro becoming now 2-time Raw Tag Team Champions?
You know, I'm actually glad to see that they got them back. They are a tag team that I actually tend to like them. And, you know, I think at first when you think of the pairing of the two, it's kind of like, really? What would make you to put them together? But they actually do work well together. And, you know, they are entertaining and I enjoy watching them. So I'm glad to see them get them back. I'm actually surprised, though, that they got them back prior to Mania. I would have thought that they would leave them where they were until Mania.
It's kind of interesting to see Randy Orton's evolution. No pun intended in this. That Randy Orton looks like he's having an absolute blast inside and outside of the ring with Matt Riddle. I mean, I wouldn't pick those two to really go together because it's kind of like the younger brother, older brother combination that you just know that the older brother is going to eventually snap on the younger brother. And I think we're going to see it. I was actually surprised it didn't happen because I thought they were going to go for a Riddle Orton match at Mania, but I'm happy with the way it went. And it kind of helps you out. I mean, and like the Night Owl said, Alpha Academy has been great lately. I mean,
yes.
they've
you know something, guys? I look at something else too here, and this is kind of a unique situation, and that is you see the stuff with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. You see the Alpha Academy. You see Rated RK Bro, and surprisingly, on the outside, kind of looking in on the whole situation, is the Street Profits. a team that really has been turning some heads in the WWE, and right now they're on the outside. Hopefully, they can find themselves a way into the championship picture before WrestleMania, because I can tell you right now, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, these two men, to me, are the future of the tag team division in the WWE.
I agree.
And I really hope that we get an opportunity to see them as a part of the showcase of the Immortals WrestleMania. 2 nights this year. Make it a point. If you want to watch it, you can check it on Peacock. And again, we're going to have Tim Miller join us here in just a minute. And gentlemen, we have one more thing we want to throw out there, but I think we want to stew on this one a little bit, because this one has a lot of implications for Mania. And that is, we're going to talk about this after our interview in just a couple moments with Tim Miller. And that is, it was made official last night. The challenge was thrown out. Kevin Owens requesting Stone Cold to meet up with him at WrestleMania. And as you see right here on the screen, what are your thoughts on KO and Stone Cold? Make it a point to throw it out here in the chat. We're going to let that one kind of stew here for a bit. And we're going to talk about that one in the second hour, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Right.
That could be a whole episode in itself, too. But like I said, right now at this point, Hoss, I just want to double check here, because we've been having some tech issues all day. My question to you is our first guest standing by?
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead here. And I got a little bit of a surprise for the viewers of the Wrestle Talk podcast here this evening. As many of you know, my broadcast colleague Chris Rodell and I have known each other, what, Chris? 25 years?
20-something years, long time. I'm old now, so, I mean...
Well, that's your choice, Chris. You're only as young as you feel. And I got to tell you right now, I mean, the man we're going to talk about here in a minute has been involved with wrestling pretty much his entire life. He grew up under the banner of the MMWA and the South Broadway Athletic Club. He spent many years behind a microphone. He had the opportunity to watch some of the greatest light heavyweights, tag teams, you name it, in the world of professional wrestling here in St. Louis. Had an opportunity here. I've seen some people bouncing in here saying that he is a true legend in the history of Midwest professional wrestling. And I got to tell you, a little bit of history here for those that are unaware. Many people know Chris Rodell and myself as a broadcast team. Many people know Jeremy Carp and I as a broadcast team. Even Richard Douglas and I as a broadcast team. But the man who gave Chris Rodell his first opportunity to step behind a microphone, to call play-by-play for professional wrestling many, many years ago.
Many moons ago.
Many, many, many years ago, was the man who's going to be joining us tonight. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor, my privilege to welcome back to the Wrestle Talk podcast my good friend and a very loyal member of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. Show some love for our good friend, Tim Miller. Tim, we're going to play some intro here. All right, Tim, how are you doing, good sir?
I'm very well.
I said, you look like you're prepared to go back in the ring there, sir. You got looks like a championship belt across your shoulder, man. You look ready to rock and roll here tonight on the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Dude, I have a lot to talk about, and we got to discuss this.
All right. Well, like I said, for those of you that have questions for Tim Miller, make it a point to put it in the chat. We've been having a very active chat here. We've had a lot of people, and I had an opportunity here when I was talking to Tim over the course of the last few days. Tim, I got to tell you, you told me that there are a lot of people that you and I have known for many, many years, and Rodell's been known a lot of these wrestlers too. There have been a lot of names that have been popping here tonight right here on the chat, and I'm going to tell you, this is an interview that a lot of people have requested. I know you've wanted to come back on the program. Chris and I have talked about it. And the Night Owl himself, the last time you came on the program, was amazed at the knowledge base that you have. So we just want to go ahead real quick here, and we're not going to take a lot of time. We're going to jump right into things that you can share stories about, you can tell us about, because as I say, you are a fountain of information. My first question to you is this. When you talk about your long-term or your long amount of time in professional wrestling, what place does the South Broadway Athletic Club hold in your heart?
Number one, Luke. That's where I learned everything. South Broadway is number one, dude. It was the mecca of St. Louis wrestling after Wrestling at the Chase folded. Herb, Tony, they made it a point to make South Broadway on the map. And I think you'll agree with this, Luke. Me and you shared the same gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Many years ago. Many
years ago. Yes. We were the Red Devil.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I cannot tell you how important, dude, we're still making an impact on wrestling. We're still.
Well, you know, Tim, I mean, we talked about in your previous interview about how you basically grew up in the world of professional wrestling through the South Broadway Athletic Club, through the MMWA. And I got to tell you right now, my question is this. In the last couple of years, we have lost a man, as you said, who really was the backbone of the MMWA, that being Tony Costa.
Yes.
And can you give us just a little bit about your connection with Tony Costa, not just in your career, but in your personal life as well?
I will. And I'll tell you this. When I needed Tony, he was there. He was more than a character. The man was amazing. I choke up. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Tim. I totally agree with you, man.
He created a character. And he gave me control of the MMWA. That's amazing, Luke.
Well, and he wasn't a guy that took anything. If you stepped up to him, he's this kind of guy that would probably slap you down.
He was 4'7". he was little, but he would smack you in a minute. Absolutely.
You know, Tim, I think back to many of the wrestlers who came through the doors of the MMWA over the course of your career. And again, seeing some of the names that have been brought up, guys like Thunderbolt and Lightning, the Freedom Team, the Wave Spies, Little Dynamite, Tony Costa, the legendary Ed Smith. You mentioned Herb Simmons.
John Blackheart, Pete Madden, Gentleman Jim Lord. I mean, we could go on. We talked about AEW earlier on. I mean, we could talk about the history of St. Louis wrestling and the South Broadway Athletic Club for an entire show.
And I'm sorry about my beat up face right now. You know, my living right now, as we talked about earlier, Luke, I go hands on.
Mm-hmm. Tim, I've never known you not to go hands on.
Right. I've seen you jump off of a 20-foot ladder, a 20-foot rolling ladder onto Luke's brother. So
I was the first one that did that.
Yeah.
Don't let the Hardys fool you. I was the first one that did that. I jumped onto Billy Bob. I did it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Ernie, at occasions, you remember this, Luke, he was like, no. And Chris Knight and Philly Blunt, my best friend Cecil, pushed him to the side, and we did it twice.
So let's talk about some of the wrestlers that you've managed. The one that I remember, the first time I believe working with you, it was a match between the MVWA champion Viper and the MMWA SICW champion Saber at the time, I believe it was.
Yes.
And can we just talk about how Saber had the most perfect flying elbow that you would want to ever see?
I'll tell you this. Saber was amazing. He is still one of my best friends, and I'll tell you what, his elbow would put anyone away. That would end Hulk Hogan. when he lands that, it's over.
Yeah,
And I was amazed that Viper kicked out.
right. I mean, and that was actually kind of one of the first. If you think about it, at that time, everyone. It's still the same way now. Everyone competes against each other, but you had two promotions coming together in a title versus title match that you never have seen before.
And dude, I take full advantage of that because we had a wrestling hotline on the phone. The internet's a different thing nowadays.
Oh man, that's taking me back a few, Tim. I mean, again, you talk about, and again, I'm going to mention it because I know it's no longer in existence. The world, and Chris, you remember this too.
Postline.
Postline.
Yes.
That was a trip back in the day.
Yeah, and honestly, I know you've worked with Gary Jackson before. So what are your thoughts on another St. Louis legend, Hall of Famer Gary Jackson?
I love Gary. Gary is one of my best friends, dude. Never mistake that. I love Gary Jackson.
And he looks this. And am I wrong in saying
he don't age?
He looks the same as he did 20 years ago.
He does not age. You know that they say black don't crack. Gary Jackson is the epitome of that.
And you know who else doesn't change really? Brian James. Brian James looks exactly the same as well.
Absolutely. And you know that's one of my greatest achievements is bringing Gary Jackson and Brian James together. Dude, I can't tell you. I've spent a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And to have Brian James at the forefront, he's always been a star. Always.
Oh yeah, it's like it's awesome to see, and they're still going strong today. I mean,
and now let's talk about Ricky Cruz. This is an interesting character. He is a Puerto Rican superstar. This man has held so many belts, dude. You cannot imagine.
And he's one of the smartest guys. I love when I get the chance in the locker room. I get to sit underneath his learning tree and learn how he puts stuff together and how he tries to make it make sense, because he can tell a story and he can be a character.
Absolutely.
Well, you know something, guys, we talk about people along those lines. I know a name was mentioned here early on. It was a name. We talked about Herb Simmons. We talked about Tony Costa. But another name I want to bring up is a name that, and Chris, unfortunately, you didn't have the opportunity to really have the experience like Tim and I did back in the day. Can you share with us a little bit about what you learned, again, as Chris said, sitting under the learning tree, about the late Ed Smith?
Oh, Ed was amazing. That man would not go to the ring without a Busch beer. and I'm getting ready to release his Slam Buddy. You said it earlier, I can promote my Slam Buddies.
Yep. And we're going to talk about that a little more in detail later on. But again, that's one of the things where with Ed Smith, I mean, I remember a story years and years and years ago, back when my brother, who kind of got me into the world of professional wrestling, was training.
Who I feuded with.
Yeah, you did. There's been many memorable episodes between the two of them. And Ed threw a chop. And I mean, a lot of people will talk about the Brian Pillmans, the Ric Flairs, the Ricky Steamboats.
No, Ed's chop was serious.
When Ed Smith would throw a chop, you knew Ed Smith was throwing a chop.
He knocked you to the floor.
Mm-hmm. He almost, and again, for those that don't know, my brother, when he was active in professional wrestling, usually floated in about that 400 to 450 pound range. And he
did.
Him down with a chop, and it wasn't anything crazy. It was a standard wrestling chop. But Ed Smith just the way he did it.
The force was unbelievable, dude. I can't tell you. I've taken Jeremy Lightfoot's chop. I've taken Philly Blunt's chop. But Ed Smith, when he threw a chop, it was devastating, dude. Not even on a fake level. He would throw a chop on me, and I would fly over the top rope just from the momentum.
And I believe your brother told me the story when he told me the story. He wasn't like wearing just his normal like t-shirt and stuff like that. He was wearing what he says was a full sweatshirt and even had like a jacket on after that. It still left a mark through on his chest.
Yes, yes.
And you know one thing too, when you sit there and you talk about it, I mean the lineage of the Smith family, when it goes down the line. Ed Smith, Keith Smith Jr., all three of those men can throw a wicked chop.
And I love all three.
And that's one of the things when you sit there and you look at all three of these men knew exactly what they took inside the ring.
Now you're looking at me without any face. Dude, I'm pretty beat up. I make my living by enforcing violence. And I'm going to tell you this. There's nothing more devastating than a Smith chop.
Yes, that is the thing that they're known for in St. Louis. Is like if you're lucky if you've never been chopped by one of the Smiths. They bring the heat. So I mean,
now let me talk about Slam Buddies.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with it, Tim, because the idea of the Slam Buddies, and again, our good friend Joe Lance has one very similar as well. But the Slam Buddy here in the St. Louis area, if you haven't had an opportunity to check these out, Tim Miller has brought together a great collection, not just of a wrestling. I don't want to say it's a wrestling figure because it's a stuffed representation, but Tim has brought together such a wealth of knowledge. And Tim, I want to throw things over to you. What motivated you to create Slam Buddies?
My wife. I'll be honest with you. My wife. Tomorrow, she is beautiful. She is perfect. She wanted to see all my friends immortalized as figures. And we tried to find action figures. We contacted Mattel, Hasbro, but then we got with Leva. Let me get it right. Viva Las Vegas. These guys, they said, we can make this happen. And I signed a 6-digit contract with them to create 75 in the next year. And we have AJ coming. We have Luke coming. We have Alexa coming. Dude, the Slam Buddies are going to put St. Louis wrestling back on the map.
We know, Tim, and again, let's just take a minute here and look at series number 1. When you look at this, I mean, I got to tell you, looking at the individuals that are in the first series of the Slam Buddies, let's take a minute and look at the 6 that you have in series number 1 and give a little bit behind each of the wrestlers that was presented in series number 1.
Well, there's 5, and then we have Mike Colombo, who is a boxer, but he ran our gym.
Okay, well let's go ahead and continue on with the remaining Slam Buddies as well. One of them, I believe, was Jeremy Lightfoot. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Jeremy Lightfoot, again, longtime wrestler here in the Midwest. And man, again, I stood across the ring from a time or two. Definitely knew I was going to be in for a great matchup when I wrestled with Jeremy Lightfoot.
Absolutely.
We had, I believe, Jerome Cody is in series number 1.
Yes.
You know, Tim, for those that don't know a lot about Jerome Cody, can you give us just a little bit about the career of Jerome Cody?
That was such a controversial gimmick. A black man that sided with the South on the Civil War. This was a man who fought slavery. That gimmick was legendary.
And like I said, I've had an opportunity to be in the ring with Jerome Cody. I mean, a great man inside the squared circle.
He was such a huge hand. Jerome could do anything in the ring. He would swat you down when you tried to throw a drop kick. Power. That man had power.
Another one to throw out there is Leon Mephisto. That was
absolutely
one that, like I said, that one I've heard a lot of things about. I mean, I've seen a lot of those Slam Buddies that have been out on social media as well.
Now, let me tell you about Mephisto. That man will bleed for $1. Absolutely. He'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, and he's still going strong. And that's one of my best friends.
And recently, Luke was a part of the Izzy Blackwell. May he rest in peace, Izzy Blackwell.
Yes.
Good brother. That the main event of the Izzy Blackwell Memorial Show was a no rope barbed wire match between Mephisto and Madman Pondo, and it, needless to say, what you would go in expecting from those two, it delivered.
Now I'll tell you this: Izzy was a warrior. Izzy would do anything I asked him to do. I was so blessed over the weekend. Izzy's wife, Jennifer, received a tag team title belt that I made for him and Harsh. And dude, that touched my heart. Izzy was a warrior. He would fight so much. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you know something, Tim? I look at it this way. I remember those tag team titles because those were, I believe, were from the MVW, or actually, they were MVWA recognized them. I believe the IWA recognized them as well. Again, we're going to talk a little more about Izzy Blackwell here in just a minute. I would be remiss in series number 1 if we didn't talk about Phil E. Blunt.
Philly was the man. Philly Blunt was the man.
I mean, when you sit there and you look at it, I mean, again, we were talking earlier, for those that don't understand, we were talking about earlier with how, I mean, the man could fly. Picture the Randy Savage elbow drop, but with the height of Montez Ford. He just seemed to float whenever he was in the ring.
And dude, I brought that to the MVWA because I knew we needed fans. We were struggling there at occasions. And I was doing everything I could, Luke, to bring fans in.
And Tim, as you look at things here, and we got somebody talking about wanting us to show the Slam Buddies, I want to go ahead and share a quick story. If you can go ahead, we're going to be just a second here. If you have one available, so you can kind of show what we're talking about. I remember the idea of Miller's Violent Wrestling Alliance.
Yes.
And I remember matches with Sabre taking on Dynamite Derek Stone.
And that was groundbreaking. That was groundbreaking.
You didn't see a lot of champion versus champion matches. You didn't see.
No. I broke that barrier.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, as we say here too, there's a lot of things that happened in the MVWA that Tim Miller definitely had a large amount of influence in. One thing I want to throw out there, and I want to talk commentators. I mean, you've had a lot of them in your career. And Tim, I got to ask you about 2. One of them was an opportunity. And again, it's like the song Reunited. Chris Rodell, Tim Miller revisited right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Something I never thought in my career would happen. Can you give us just a little bit of background on your first encounter, your first dealings with big sexy Chris Rodell?
Go ahead, Chris.
I believe the whole story was that I was the only commentator, and Tim just sat down and said, "I'm talking now." So he kind of, but we ended up developing a pretty good chemistry where, you know, we were able to play off of each other because Tim Miller was kind of the Bobby Heenan of the St. Louis wrestling scene. He had his opinion, so I mean, and it worked out well. I mean.
And it didn't offend you.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't give. Call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's all I got to say.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things there, and again, some of the things that were groundbreaking back in the day, talking about the MVWA, was the opportunity of bringing in longtime radio personality Smash was the part at one time of the MVWA as well.
Yes, we did a lot of things. I give Steve Murphy a lot of credit for this. Dude, we were doing some things that were groundbreaking. Absolutely.
Well, you know, Tim, we're going to go back here and we're going to did you happen to find one of those Slam Buddies? That's kind of been blowing up our chat. Do you have one you can show the fans right now?
Yes, I do. I
All
have
right,
many.
we're going to go ahead and take care of what's here. Tim Miller going to show us one of the Slam Buddies that you can purchase right there. That is a Phil E. Blunt Slam Buddy. And one of the things, too, Tim, I think is really cool. If you look at the championship belts that a lot of them are wearing in the Slam Buddies, they're all different.
They are, because I created each one of them, Luke.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things when you sit there and look at it. These Slam Buddies are very unique, and it's an opportunity where you can see the wrestlers not only of yesterday but of today as well. And
Absolutely.
And I want to go ahead real quick. You brought them up earlier on. I want to talk about our good friends over at the Midwest Independent Wrestling Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. They're going to have their induction ceremony on May 1st. I believe it's in Pacific, Missouri. And a couple of names that I want to talk about here. They had Pimpin' Al Blundy. They had Xavier Frost. They had Judge Chipster. But there are three men I know that you had. Actually, I should say four because I can't count today. There are four men that you had a lot of dealings with over the course of your career. First one I want to talk about is longtime professional wrestling personality, member of the CAC, former CAC president, Carl Lauer. Can you give us a little bit
Carl was amazing. Carl, you know, we have a blood rule in Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again, Carl Lauer was an enforcer of the rules. He knew exactly what was going on.
Yes, he was.
Times.
But he would let me get away with shit. Excuse my language.
Well, it's one of those where, I mean, again, he's one of those guys and had an opportunity. Him, and I remember, and Chris, this is going to ring some bells with you, guys like Ray Kuby, Tim Lukanoff,
Ray Kuby.
Absolutely.
Ed Monahan, another man that I have infinite amount of respect for inside the world of professional wrestling. Next one I want to talk about with the Hall of Fame is Izzy Blackwell. And I have to ask you right now, I know you, like myself and several others, have followed the career of his son, Damian Blackwell.
And he's doing very well.
My question is what similarities do you see between Izzy and Damian?
I see a lot. To be honest with you, big men, they're big. And when you get hit by a Blackwell clothesline, that's devastating.
And I got to tell you right now, he's been making it a point to make his name on the professional wrestling scene. Had an opportunity to see him. He was in a matchup against the Beast, another person who's been on the program here, a man that
who I also managed.
That is true. And again, there's a lot of them. Shout out to the Beast. A lot of memories from days gone by inside the squared circle with him. The last one to talk about with the Hall of Fame are two men, and I noticed back there you had a recognition from the Missouri State Athletic Commission.
Yes.
And, two men that also received a lot of notoriety, not just from the MMWA, but from out professional wrestling promotions across the country. And that is the Lumberjacks, Abe and Gabe. What can you share about those two men?
I will tell you this. Abe and Gabe, especially Abe, he keeps up with me every day. I talk with Andy every day. Dude, you can't understand. These guys are the real deal. They'll beat you down. Understand that. They will beat you down. They're not the most popular guys, but dude, they will beat you down.
And Tim, I got to tell you right now, seeing those two men inside the ring, and thank you for sharing that, by the way. You can check out Damian Blackwell and Halo every Saturday at CHWA in Cottage Hill.
Yes, indeed.
That says Sunday, Luke.
Sunday. I can't. It's like I said, I can't count. I'm not able to read the screen. I'm having one of those nights, Chris. But now, Tim, one of the things I want to talk about, we're going to come back to the Slam Buddies here in just a minute because that's something I know it's very near and dear to your heart.
It's profitable for me.
That is true, too. I want to take a minute here, and what we're going to do is we're going to do something we haven't done in a while here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. We're going to do some name association.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give you some names, and I want you to give us your thoughts. Don't worry about what your I mean, again, you're not a reserve person. You've always said how you feel. You've always been very straightforward. That's why you and Chris and I have all been such good friends, because you tell it how it is.
Yes.
I want to go ahead and I want to throw some names out here at you, and I want to get your thoughts. Okay.
Throw them.
Number 1, Human Wrecking Ball, Pete Madden.
Oh, Pete Madden, he's incredible. Dude, I wish I could have put him on my roster. He was always a soul that he was. I don't even know how to. Dude, that's a tough one, Luke. Dude, Pete Madden was a professional. He tore shit up.
Mm-hmm. I remember being there, and again, true story. When I was training to be a pro wrestler, this was about the time that Pete Madden started learning to chair salt. And all I remember was I got body slammed, and the next thing you know, no closer than me to my computer screen right now, which is only about, I'd say probably a foot. All I see is Pete Madden flying from the top rope with a chair in hand, and basically literally just, it was one of those things. I wish I would have had a video camera, because from what I heard from everybody, it was poetry in motion.
Now, Luke, do you remember me diving on your brother twice?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was Pete Madden. Mm-hmm. I went back in the locker room, and Pete told me, do it again.
Well, another one I want to throw out there, Hall of Famer, longtime friend of man that helped train me in the world of professional wrestling, John Blackheart.
Oh, Blackheart was amazing. He was amazing. John Blackheart was a professional. That man, he could do moves. He wrestled, dude. He wrestled.
Next one for you, Attila Khan.
Oh, a beast. Big man. Big. Dude, I love the gimmick he's evolved into.
The next one for you, Big Bad Ben.
Ben, I'm sorry, he's gone. Me and Ben didn't always get along because we had promotional differences, because I was trying to look out for the MMWA and SICW, and he started GCW. I love Ben. I really do. But I had to look out for my promotions.
Number 5, Dingo.
Dingo, another guy I love to death. People don't understand him.
Okay. Next one, Al Stevens.
Oh, Big Al?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I love him almost as much as Tony Costa. Al carries weight that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's checked me many times. I was homeless for 2 years. And I stayed at South Broadway's gym. Now, I'm telling a serious story that a lot of people don't want to hear, but I'm being serious. Al knew this. And he had my back.
And again, all the dealings I've ever had with Al Stevens, he's a class act in every sense of the word. I got another one for you, Tim.
Yes.
Next one, the Smith family.
I love the Smith family. You know, me and Ed were very good friends. He was a friend of my father, but that's where the open door policy came from. I punched Keith right in the jaw, dude, and I dropped him to the floor. That's where I got the nickname from AJ, the Killer Killer.
Another one to throw out there at you, Philly Blunt.
Oh, Philly is my dude. He's been there with me since day one. Philly got involved in wrestling in like 1987, and me and him are still friends to this day. We're
Next-
getting ready to open the shop at my foundry. Let's talk about that.
Okay, well, like I said, I got one more to throw out there at you. A name from the past, Steve Sharp.
Oh, I love Steve. I love Steve. He destroyed the MVWA. I'll be honest with you on that. He was working for Harley Race.
Mm-hmm.
He took the belt. I wasn't exactly game with that, but now looking back on it, I understand where that went. Dynamite Derek Stone, dude, his career wouldn't have been made without Harley Race.
Mm-hmm. You know, Tim, I got to tell you right now, we're going to kind of shift gears here. We got Tim Miller here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. You know something, guys? We've had a lot of people sending us messages saying that they're enjoying the interview. Make it a point to share this with your friends. Make sure you share with all professional wrestling fans, because this is an opportunity to have three men who have a wealth of knowledge in the world of professional wrestling to have an opportunity to talk. And Tim, I got to ask you too. We talked about Series 1 of the Slam Buddies. Now I got to be honest with you. You're a businessman. I'm a businessman. Chris is a businessman. Can you give us a little insight on Series 2? Could you give us a little more information, kind of a sneak peek when it comes to Series 2 of the Slam Buddies?
Series 2 is going to include, the star of the show is Tony Costa. I'm sorry that I didn't include that in the first series, but Tony, Ed, yourself, Luke, you agreed that I can make you into a Slam Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
AJ and Demarius Jones, and the first girl, Alexis. Dude, it's very exciting.
And you know something, Tim? The opportunity, and I have to say, the opportunity to give the wrestling fans not only the idea of yesterday and today coming together, it's going to be, I mean, again, the first series of Slam Buddies are already, literally, in some cases, are flying off the shelves.
You like them?
I do. I mean, Chris, you've had an opportunity to see them online.
They're very well made. Where can one get one of these Slam Buddies?
All you have to do is contact me on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, you know something, guys? We're going to go ahead here, and I got one more question before we go to our shoot and shout segment. And in just about 7 or 8 minutes here, we're going to have an interview with two men who are going to be competing this Saturday.
Frodo and Ace?
Yeah, for the MMWA Junior Heavyweight title, a championship that you and I have talked about that has a lineage back even to the 1970s.
Yes.
I got to ask you right now, Ace Hawkins, Frodo, who walks out Saturday night the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Champion?
Ace.
You want to give some reasons behind it?
I'll tell you this. Ace is a warrior. That man, he fights with everything. Dude, he has so many moves. Ace is amazing. And I like Frodo. Can I talk about real life?
Yeah, go ahead, Tim. Floor is yours.
Okay. You know, I handle a place called City Foundry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we put on concerts, shows. We have 13 plus restaurants. We have indoor miniature golf. We have a golf course, dude. And Frodo has a pier.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. Dude's tough. But I think AJ... Oh, let me change that. Ace is so tough. I don't think that Frodo can handle what Ace is going to bring.
Wow, I mean, those are strong words, Tim. And I mean, I know you've seen both of them compete, but like I said, real quick here before we let you go here this evening, I want to have an opportunity for you to take part. I know you did last time in our shoot and shout segment, an opportunity to give you just a few moments to vent about what's on your mind. I know Rodell's ready. He's been talking about things. I've been thinking about things. I know you've been thinking about things since the last time you were on the show. So, Hardcore Hoss, if you'd be so kind here, well, we got Tim Miller, a longtime St. Louis professional wrestling aficionado, historian, Midwest legend, as we talked about earlier on. Can you go ahead and get us the music for the high spot segment? And Tim, I'm going to tell you, we got
shoot and shout, shoot and shout.
What am I going to show challenge?
No, shoot and shout. You said high spots.
Again, we've been going all night, Chris. Let's go ahead and go to the shoot and shout segment. Hoss, I'll get it right this time, I promise. The shoot and shout segment. Tim, get ready because since you were on the last time, we've got a little bit of an introduction. So, Hoss, if you please.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fun, everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life's on contract. Your best bet's to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the heat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the shoot and shout segment. I'm going to go ahead and go first, and I'm going to put myself right on the line. I got two tonight. One is the fact that I got to realize that I've got to make sure that I can get my mouth to work when my brain does. It's been a connection thing today, not working too well, but that's okay. I appreciate everybody making sure that they have been dealing with me here today. It's been a real energetic show. But the second one is this, and Chris, I didn't get a chance to share this one with you. As you know, with Dynamo Pro, I have to travel all across the area looking for upcoming wrestlers and things along the lines. Had to book a flight to Chicago. I'm leaving about a month to go up there and have some meetings with some very important people. I waited because I'm old school. I don't do this online stuff. I go ahead and I do the automated system. They say between 35 and 45 minutes to get a call back. I just happen to have my phone. I got a call back in 7 minutes. Something doesn't connect, much like Luke Roberts and his commentary here tonight. You got to understand that if you say a certain time, make sure that you honor the time, please. I'm going to go ahead and throw things to Hardcore Hoss here for your shoot and shout tonight, Hoss. I know you got a lot on your mind, too.
Oh, well, let's see. Out of everything I've got here, people tend to do things and they try to do it for the best of a lot of different people. But then some people just tend to whine and cry and put it down. And, a lot of people think they're doing it for you. They think they're doing it for for your demographic. If somebody's trying to do something to help you, don't put them down for it.
Okay, very, very true, Hoss. I couldn't agree with you more. Chris, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you. Shoot and shout this week.
I really don't have anything, with the exception of me being annoyed that they're asking every wrestler that's not booked on WrestleMania what their path to WrestleMania is. That's about the only thing that I really got. I
want to hear from Ace.
Okay, well, like I said, Ace is going to be on here in just a few minutes. Tim, I got to ask you, what's on your mind? I know you've given us a lot of information. What's on your mind? Is there anything that's really kind of got your mindset here as we get ready to wrap up hour number one?
Dude, I'm excited. I want to see Ace succeed. One of my best friends. I want to hear what he's about to become, the MMWA junior heavyweight champion for the third time.
And like I said, Tim, tonight, and I got to ask you right now, Tim, we didn't even get to touch the surface on stories and things like that. I do want to throw two more names at you real quick. I know they're going to be on here in just a minute. Two more names, and then I'm going to let you go. One of us joined us here all evening long, Jeremy Lightfoot.
Oh, I love Jeremy. He was a warrior. He was the heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's trying to help CHWA. Now, I don't agree necessarily with CHWA. I consider that backyard.
Okay, and the last one, and it's going to take it a little bit of a variance. We talked about a lot of names from the past. The Punisher.
Oh, the Punisher, dude, that is one of my best friends. Tim Ferriss is a warrior. That motherfucker, he excuse my language, he stepped into the ring with a shirt with a middle finger stuck up. Dude, Tim Ferriss is my dude. I love Tim Ferriss.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had Tim Miller here on the program. Tim, any final thoughts before we let you go here? Like I said, we got a great second hour still to come to. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Keep tuning in. Wrestling is amazing. You have to keep tuning in. You have no idea where it's going. I've earned a fortune off of it. I'm wealthy, rich, and I'm making slam buddies, and you're one of them, Luke.
And Tim, I got to tell you right now, again, one last thing. If you want to purchase a Slam Buddy, make it a point to find Tim Miller on social media. I believe he's on the Wrestle Talk Facebook account as well. Make it a point. You can also check him out YouTube and on Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
And I got to throw one more out here. Tim, we've had 2 times with you. Sometime later on, maybe around Memorial Day, what we need to do is we need to bring you on and talk nothing but stories when it comes to the world of professional wrestling, because you, Chris, and I could tell so many stories about things that have gone on over the course of our careers. I don't know if we would be – I think we would be crying because we'd be laughing so hard at some of the things we've experienced
dude.
in our careers.
Dude, they can't even imagine. My dad captured the U.S. heavyweight champion. Dude, independent wrestling is so strange. You can't imagine.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, Tim, I want to say thank you for the Wrestle Talk podcast and the Wrestle Talk family. Again, another great opportunity to sit down with Midwest professional wrestling legend Tim Miller. And Tim,
and buy the Slam Buddies. Buy them.
And like I said, make it a point to buy the Slam Buddies. They're available online. Tim, thank you for joining us on the program. And like I said, it's an honor to have you on the show, and it's a privilege to have you a part of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. And we're going to have you back on again real soon. And we're not going to talk a lot about this wrestling. We're going to talk about the stories, the Tim Miller road stories coming up soon here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. You up for that, friend? Tim, are you up for a road stories episode?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tim Miller right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Again, Tim, thank you very much for coming on the program, and we'll be talking with you real soon.
Chris, love you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tim Miller here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. I got to tell you, great first hour. If you thought the first hour was great, second hour is going to be even more so. Another face-to-face confrontation between Ace Hawkins and Frodo. It's going to be taking place here in just a few moments. John, what do you think of hour number 1? All right, the technology gremlins, I think, are getting you here, Hoss. Let's try that again. We had an hour of no tech issues, and now, are you there?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
But,
what do you think hour number 1?
I was listening, whether I was in the back or out here, either way, I was paying attention to the show. And let me tell you, I think it was a great hour, and, I look forward to hearing some of his road stories and just hearing more from him, because it sounds like he is a big wealth of knowledge. So, and I'd be interested to hear, what is the Wrestle Talk? What do you guys think of what's been going on this first hour and what we got coming up second hour? What are your thoughts?
Well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take that applause, guys. Thank you for staying with us here in hour number 1. Like I said, hour number 2, we're going to have Ace Hawkins and Frodo talking MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship action that's going to be taking place this Saturday. I know Chris is going to be, he's gone backstage to make sure both of our guests are here. So what we're going to do here real quick is we're going to take a brief break. And when we return, we're going to be talking about the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. And also, as we talked about earlier on, before the show is over tonight, you're going to hear from Haas, myself, and Chris Rodell about the whole situation with Kevin Owens and Steve Austin. WrestleMania, is it going to happen? We're going to talk more about that right after this break, right here, as we get ready for hour number 2 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you in just a few moments.
Make a back to this. Make a back to this. Make a back to this. It's a life, make a back to this. Orange and purple with a chicken or breakfast. If you ain't a hustler, you might not get this. Eyes wide open, even though we sleeping. Had to get up in your face, creeping. But you gotta be from my town just to know that. All brand new, no need for a throwback. Tell where you're from, but don't be dumb. Didn't even know it, but they said that I won. I will keep grinding, no rewinding. I will ace life like it's one big assignment. Young Max Saga, hotter than lava. Never tripping on them haters cause they ain't nada. Pops was a hustler, I swear I'm just like him. Girl, put your titties in my face, that's why I like them. Hey, big heads, but I love big faces. When letting these victorious, I already taste it. Got to get my hustle on. Got to get my hustle on. Got to get my hustle on. Yeah. Got to get it. Early in the morning, I'm up, trying to get it. When it comes to that important shot, I gotta hit it, cause I'm clutch, baby. Young Reese, he's way too much lately, looking mania. Feeling crazy, you know what's up, baby. Casey's the place where I'm at, where they get hit with the Mac, they get stabbed in the back. I go pull along with a link up with the pack, eating motherfucking beats like they some type of snack. And then I hit the club, see the people moving. I be chasing paper while some people still snoozing. If you ain't winning, must mean you're losing. That's taking L's, and it's something I ain't doing. I'm a straight winner from beginner, you should know that. From the killer city, so you know I gotta show that. We the Kush masters, break it down and roll that. Tryna get some racks, after that, get some more racks. Got to get my hustle on. Got to get my hustle on. Got to get my hustle on. Got to get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hour number 1 of the Wrestle Talk podcast has concluded. We're going to come back here with hour number 2 right now. And Hoss, I got to tell you, we were talking about it in the first hour. Right now, we have 2 gentlemen who this coming Saturday are going to be participating in a matchup for one of the most recognized, one of the most storied championships in the St. Louis area, that being the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship.
It goes back to the light. I believe they called it was a light heavyweight title and then a cruiserweight title. It's taken on many forms, but it's basically the same thing. And I am truly excited to see this. It happens this Saturday at the historic. You can't say South Broadway. It's the historic South Broadway Athletic Club. It's MMWA. It is Madness for the Gold. And are we ready to bring? We want to go ahead and bring him in.
I think we're ready, Chris. I'm going to go ahead. And like I said, last week I had the opportunity to kind of facilitate our discussion between Tyler Copeland and Benjamin Trust. I'm going to go ahead and pass things over to you. The fans want to see it. So, Chris, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and introduce our 2 finalists.
All right, our finalists for the
Junior Championship.
For the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship this Saturday at the historic South Broadway Athletic Club. First, he defeated Chris Exodus and he defeated Andrew Wilder on his way to the finals. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Team Ambition, it's Frodo the Ghost.
Play that loud!
Somebody gotta say something. Throwing all them dirty looks like what's the problem, buddy? We shade don't be throwing shade on me. Don't be throwing shade, don't be throwing shade. I'm doing out just walking down the street, stepping out to get some eats. I can feel the glacial peeps, y'all just giving me the creeps. Don't be throwing shade, don't be throwing shade on me.
I think he's one of the few people that we've had on the Wrestle Talk podcast that does his own theme song. Frodo, welcome to the Wrestle Talk podcast. How are you this evening?
Happy to be here, Chris.
All right.
Luke, whoever's talking, I can't tell. The screen is small.
All right, well, let me welcome in your opponent for this Saturday night. He beat Ricky Rodriguez and Jonathan Zulu on his way to the finals. It is the ace that sets the pace, the ace that runs the place. It is the Ace Hawkins.
Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, said I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. I'm not stopping, no, don't hear the opposite. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be.
Oh, Ace, are you there? You're on mute. I can tell you're on mute for one, and your camera's not on. So,
yeah, I'm here.
Are you in there, Ace?
Hey, Frodo, are you messing with Ace's technology over there?
I'll never tell.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it goes down this Saturday night. Frodo versus Ace. Frodo, I'm gonna let you take the first. Just give us an opening statement of what we should expect Saturday night.
Oh, what you should expect? What you should expect is me driving an individual to the absolute brink of madness, and me laying that man on the floor, very violently, I might add, and then holding the gold up above my head in victory.
You seem to be ready. If I remember right, last month Ace left you laying in the ring, left you laying with a belt shot after your face to face.
Yeah, and my jaw's still ringing from that. Right now, I'm here at the Team Ambition Wrestling Academy, sharpening up all my skills and preparing myself for the biggest match of my career so far. And I'm hungry. Guys.
Well, I can tell that you're hungry. Ace, we can't see you, but I know we can hear you. Ace, what do you got planned for this Saturday?
Frodo the Ghost. This Saturday, I know it's the biggest match of your career, but here's the thing. It's just another Saturday for me. I've been there. I've been to the top. I've held this title. And don't let me make you think it doesn't matter to me. But I've been there, and I know what it takes. You can laugh. And this is serious. This is serious because I'm going to lay you back on your back just like I did last month. Team Ambition. Frodo the Ghost, I don't know if you understand this. In 2008, where were you in 2008, Frodo the Ghost? I was training. I was the guinea pig for Team Ambition. I was Davey Richards' student. I came through that school long before you ever had your eye on professional wrestling, long before you even spit a bar. I went through that school long before you.
So Ace, what made you hit Frodo with the belt at the last at the January show?
Too jealous.
I said it right after it happened. It was business. It was to make my point. Establish exactly what's going to happen this weekend.
I don't know. I'm going to turn over to Luke for a second. Luke, what do you want to know from these two hot competitors?
Well, I got to tell you right now, the first question I'm going to throw out is to Ace. Ace, you as you've been on the program several times before, you've held championships all across the Midwest. What would winning the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship mean to you?
Winning the Junior Heavyweight Championship is very important to me. It's why I came back. I announced it that night when I came back in January, and I told everyone there that it was very important to me. I've held it twice in the past, and I intend to make it 3, because the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship was my first ever singles title that I picked up in my career, like 11 years ago or something. And there's a relationship I have with that title that I would love to rekindle.
So Frodo, what are you doing extra to plan to prepare for this match this Saturday? I know you're at the Team Ambition studio right now. So what are you doing to prepare?
Whole lot of strength and conditioning goes down here. Strength training and conditioning goes down here at the Team Ambition Wrestling Academy. We are raising, we are training the strongest, most hardcore competitors out there. Not hardcore as in like hardcore matches, meaning hardcore meaning we're tough. We're tough as nails, baby. We are the cream of the crop here at Team Ambition Wrestling Academy. Today, sharpening up some of my technical skills, learning a few more techniques that will take down anybody that crosses my path.
Well, it sounds like you. I hear Ace laughing in the background. What are you laughing at, Ace?
Apparently, Frodo the Ghost thinks he's Macho Man Randy Savage with his cream of the crops and everything else.
Well, gentlemen, I've got a question here, and I'm going to pose this question to you, Frodo. You are no stranger to championship gold in the MMWA, being a former tag team champion. I got to ask you, over the course of the last few months, how has your mindset changed since losing the tag team championship? How have you changed your way of looking at things going into this junior heavyweight tournament?
Well, I feel like there's a lot of dead weight off my legs. A whole lot of dead weight off my legs, because now I'm no longer with the Reckoning, and they're no longer the Reckoning. They want, replace me with Ricky Cruz. Fine. Go right ahead. Be the brotherhood. Do your thing. Be better for it. Don't think I forgot. Don't think I forgot what y'all did to me. No. But we're not. I'm not talking about y'all right now. I'm not. My head has never been more mad. That is my tool. It's my psychotic tendencies. Guys, I'm a little nuts. I'm a little messed up in the head.
Unstable?
So unstable. The most charming psychopath you'd ever meet. And now I have my eyes on my first singles championship ever. So, in a way, I'm looking to follow in your footsteps, Ace. And if that means I gotta take you out to do that, so be it.
So Ace, when you came back in December of last year, when they introduced that the MMWA was going to bring back in January when they were going to bring back the junior heavyweight title, you said that 2 of your favorite moments in your career happened at the South Broadway Athletic Club. Do you want to expand on that and tell Frodo what he's really up against?
Yeah, the first one was when I defeated Johnny Courageous for the junior heavyweight title and picked up my first title. The second was when I defeated other tournament participant, Andrew Wilder, in the historic South Broadway's first ever ladder match in MMWA history. And that's the 2 moments. But if I'm going to elaborate on what Frodo is in store for this weekend, I want to discuss a third-party trainee of Davey Richards. The last time I was put in the ring against another student of Davey Richards, I picked up the United States Championship of Pro Wrestling Epic when I defeated Kyle O'Reilly in the middle of the ring. Kyle O'Reilly needs no introduction. He needs no explanation. But I will say, Kyle O'Reilly is leaps and bounds above Frodo the Ghost. And if I lay Kyle O'Reilly on his back, Frodo the Ghost doesn't stand a chance against Ace Hawkins.
Wow, that's some pretty strong words there, Ace. Now, gentlemen, I'm gonna change this up here just a little bit. I know, Frodo, you've got stuff you want to say. I'm going to ask you this, gentlemen. You both are no stranger to in-ring competition. Frodo, I'm going to go with you first. I don't want you to share your strategy. Being a former wrestler, I know wrestlers don't want to share their strategy going into high-profile matches or in any matchup. What would you say is the biggest thing you have to look out for when it comes to facing Ace Hawkins?
The guy's crafty. He's a former champion. He's beaten Kyle O'Reilly in the middle of the ring for gold. As a matter of fact, impressive. Very, very impressive accolades. And if I can knock you off, it just means it's a bigger win. It just makes it bigger. That doesn't mean I can't beat you. The guy's cunning. The guy has been in this division holding gold and competing for gold for many years. He's a former Missouri Wrestling Revival champion. I remember him holding that belt. So this is not a match that I'm taking lightly, believe it or not. As crazy as I am, I'm being well counted. And he isn't going to see it come. Anything that I haven't sold.
I wonder what's going on in Frodo's head right now. I mean,
I don't want to know.
Ace, the technology.
There he is!
There's Ace.
Here.
He's not hiding anymore.
Ace, I'm going to throw the question out to you. Preparing for a matchup with somebody like Frodo, what do you have to look out for when you face somebody with the skills and the knowledge of a Frodo?
Well, the simple answer is clearly he's a whack job. Clearly, not even he knows what he's going to do next. So for me to have any idea, even with my experience,
Okay, well, Chris, I'm going to tell you right now that answered a good amount of my questions on both sides. I'm going to turn things over to you. I know you got some more questions for both of these men.
Yeah, I want to talk to Ace a little bit. What does the South Broadway Athletic Club mean to you? Just in the general of St. Louis wrestling, what does it mean to you?
South Broadway Athletic Club and the wrestling company that's been there for the last 30 years. I stress, the wrestling company that has been there for the last 30 years, and no other wrestling company is the most important wrestling company in St. Louis, in my opinion. It's the most valuable, it has the most longevity, and it's the most proven. There's no other company that has what Broadway has to me.
So what are some of your, and just in your general in your career, who is your favorite opponent, Ace? Who is your favorite opponent you've ever stepped in the ring with?
Certainly not Ryback for that. But there's only a handful. There's the Espinoza, there's the Wilder, there's the Jackson Crowley. All of those would be favorites of mine.
Frodo, I'm going to throw that question to you. Who's been your? I know you're fairly new. You're fairly new to the business, but who's been your favorite opponent so far?
I've got a few. I've got a few that I can name. CJ Shine being one of them, most definitely. I also enjoy working with Mike Outlaw. Who else? My old tag team partner Cayman. We've had some pretty epic battles. Pretty intense. Which I still need to get that W over him too. I haven't beaten him. He cheated last time.
So this past Friday at Dynamo Pro in Arnold, you faced Chris Cade in a match. You came out with the victory. Some people say you might have stole the victory from Chris Cade. What was your thought going into that match?
Just being crafty, just being clever, a little homage. Good with the cookie sheets.
And Ace, I know that you wrestled up were you up in Mount Vernon this past weekend with IWAP?
The weekend before.
The weekend before. What can you tell me about IWAP that people need to really know and pay attention to?
IWAP is doing it, man. They've been around for a while. They've got their own venue, much like South Broadway and MMWA. They've got their own venue. They're doing their own thing, and I believe it's the best company in Central to South Illinois.
Cool. Luke, do you have anything that you want to bring up real quick? Or
Well, I want to ask both these gentlemen here. I mean, again, we've got Ace Hawkins and Frodo here live on the Wrestle Talk podcast just days before their epic contest for the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Gentlemen, I got to ask you, you've competed against all sorts of wrestlers. And Ace, I'm going to throw this one to you first. How do you prepare differently for Frodo the Ghost than you would anyone else right now? How do you prepare for competing against him this Saturday? What differences do you have to prepare for?
To me, Frodo the Ghost is nothing special.
Ooh.
It's nothing I haven't already faced. He's nothing I haven't already been in the ring with. I don't have to prepare differently. The fact of the matter is that I prepare, that I train, and I prepare for what is coming for me. And he should be prepared for what's coming for him. I don't know if... Back up. Ambition is a wonderful thing to have. You can be the best basketball player in the world, but at 5'0", you're never going to slam dunk. You can be the best baseball player in the world, but with little to no strength, you're never going to hit it out of the park. You can be the best rapper in the world, but with no flow, you're never going to spit sick beats. Do you hear me, Frodo the Ghost? Frodo the Ghost will never pin Ace Hawkins' shoulders to the mat. So when I show up and I prove to South Broadway Athletic Club, to their audience, to the venue, to the people that run the show, and to Frodo the Ghost, just understand that I am unstoppable and that I am the superior talent.
I would like to just say I don't know what Frodo is barking or biting at this point, but go on.
His screen is next to mine, so like.
Is he? I think he's trying. I think he's trying to get on Ace's screen.
We'll give you an idea.
I'm trying to break that barrier of space and time right now, so I can kick your ass.
Okay, well, Frodo,
it's not possible. But anyway, continue.
I got to throw the same question out to you. You've competed against a lot of wrestlers in your career. What have you done differently to prepare for a matchup of this importance this coming Saturday night?
I have been working my ass off to get into the best shape of my life. I've put on muscle. I've lost fat. I have pushed past all my limits. And then some. I'm working harder to push past more limits. I've got the leg strength. I've got the upper body strength. I've got the muscle. I've got the know-how. No matter how unstable I might seem, or am, to be honest. I'm always playing chess, not checkers, buddy.
Personally, I am looking forward to this match. Ace, as you were coming up, who are some of your favorite wrestlers to train with, take seminars with, learn the craft from? Who are some of your favorite wrestlers coming up like that?
being a St. Louis guy, I feel like I can't not say Delirious was one of them.
Absolutely.
I can't not say Matt Seidel was one of them. The seminar that put me on the map and got me into training was a seminar with Mike Quackenbush in December of 2007. And that was the seminar that brought Dynamo and me together. So I owe a lot to that seminar with Mike Quackenbush. I would say those ones mean a lot to me.
I mean, that's awesome because you also worked for, if I remember right, back a while, like several years ago, you worked for OVW at the time, didn't you? Yep.
Yeah.
And we're a pretty big part of OVW, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Something like that. I was on the roster for a couple of years. I worked with people like Eugene Dinsmore, Kid Cash, Crimson, or whatever his name is, something like that. Yeah, I worked with lots of guys who were in and out of TNA. Al Snow.
Mm-hmm.
A few names like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Frodo, I'll throw the same TT. Who have been some of your favorite people to take wrestling seminars from?
I haven't taken too many seminars. I know Ricky Cruz, Super Crazy, Mike Bennett, and just training wise, I've really enjoyed the training I've been getting from Davey Richards lately. Mike Outlaw has helped me significantly, and I can say without a doubt I would not be the wrestler I am today without Mike Outlaw, real name, no gimmicks. Camaro Jackson's helped me out a lot. Warhorse has helped me out a lot. I remember training with Sadie Blaze over at the Dynamo Dojo for a while. I've had a lot of good guys help me get to where I am.
You're never not learning. And maybe I'll ask about. I know you guys all follow the independent wrestling scene. I'll start with Ace. Ace, who are you looking forward to in the future, like in the very near future, to absolutely explode on the wrestling scene? Is there anyone that sticks out to you?
Tommy Davis.
Yes.
Tommy Davis, Dragon's Guild as a whole, but Tommy Davis, in their trio, he's kind of the single, and I see a crazy future for him, and I wish the best for him.
Frodo, I'll ask the same of you. Who do you think is going to explode on the wrestling scene in the next year or so?
I'm going to agree with Ace on that one. Because Tommy's really good, but I'm also going to make a statement and say no role models. Keep an eye out for that tag team. They're going to be they're amazing. Currently the CCW tag team champions, and just worth every bit of everything they got. And just training with those guys and watching them become what they are right now. I'm happy to see it.
So someone does want to ask about your experience with Ryback back in 2012. So do you want to go ahead and address that? And it wasn't.
Yeah, that happened. Keith Hatton and I kicked his ass and called it a night.
I mean, that's what I remember. I remember you coming out victorious. I mean, maybe I was watching I don't know. Maybe I was watching an alternate feed, but yeah, I thought
it's been 10 years and 2 is still greater than 1. So.
And you're wrestling and he's not. So I mean that should that should be.
Start calling me the big guy.
Luke, go ahead. Take.
Well, right now, gentlemen, I've got one more question, and then we're going to kind of move on to a little bit of a challenge here this evening between the two of you. Ace, you've been a former MMWA junior heavyweight champion. My last question to you is this: what would it mean to you to walk out of Madness for the Gold this Saturday as a 3-time MMWA junior heavyweight champion? What would that mean to you?
So this will be my third match in South Broadway in, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years, because events happened and people happened that kept me away from that place for a while. But the entire time I was eyeing the company, waiting for the moment that I could come back. I left the business not knowing if I would come back for 1.5 years. But the entire time I kept my eye on South Broadway because that is one of the most important places in the wrestling business in my heart. I came back, I went to IWAP out in Mount Vernon first, and I told them, you have my loyalty and I will always work for you. And then the ability to return to South Broadway popped up. And there was not a single chance that another wrestling company, my military position, nothing was going to keep me from returning to South Broadway Athletic Club and reclaiming one of the most important and valuable titles that I've ever held. That's what it means to me.
And you were, if I remember right, are you a 3-time MWR Missouri State champion as well?
Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
And you never faced Ricky Cruz for that title, did you?
No.
I find that hard. I find that hard to believe, but maybe I shouldn't, because I mean,
well, Chris, I mean, again, that'd be one that a lot of fans would definitely remember, to have those two in the ring. Now, Frodo, my last question to you is this: you know the lineage. You and I have had the opportunity to talk about the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. What would it mean to you to add your name to that long list? I mean, we were talking about it earlier on with longtime MMWA personality Tim Miller, a championship that can go back into the 1970s. What would it mean to you to have your name etched on that list of men who've held the MMWA Junior Heavyweight title?
Well, for one, an absolute honor just to be placed amongst those greats. For one. For two, it would be my first singles title win ever, and I'm really, really looking to make that happen. I'm so damn hungry for it. It would just hold a significant place in my heart the rest of my life if I can achieve this goal.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I want to ask you right now, as you both know, being former guests of the Wrestle Talk podcast, every week we have what's called the world-famous Wrestle Talk podcast Game Show Challenge. And considering the fact that the two of you are going to be competing in just a couple of days for that prestigious championship, we want to know if the two of you would be willing to kind of give a little preview here of competing against each other in tonight's Wrestle Talk podcast Game Show Challenge. Ace, would you be willing to participate?
Sure.
Frodo?
Yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what you got? Let's do it.
All right. Well, hold on, Frodo. I know you got that enthusiasm, but we got to kind of keep it under control until we can go ahead. And Hoss, I hope you got it ready for tonight's installment of the world-famous Wrestle Talk podcast Game Show Challenge. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's installment of the world-famous Wrestle Talk podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls, and our competitors this evening are Ace Hawkins and Frodo. Now, gentlemen, here's the rules. In just a few moments, I'm going to give you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. When you think you know the answer to the question, shout out your answer.
A particular wrestling what?
Professional wrestling topic.
Okay.
Again, first one, just like in a 2 out of 3.
There's a slight delay.
That's okay. That's okay. We're good to go. Best 2 out of 3 falls. Just like some people would say it was an old school wrestling match. 2 out of 3 falls. Okay. Tonight's Wrestle Talk podcast Game Show Challenge category is Cruiserweight Champions. All three of these individuals have held cruiserweight championships over the course of their career. I'm going to give you information about three of them. When you think you know who this individual is, you go ahead and you shout out your answer. Ace, are you understanding of the directions?
Yeah.
Frodo, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Well, Chris, much like Renee was last week, you're going to be our official judge for tonight's contest. All right, here we go, gentlemen. Question number 1. This current WWE wrestler has the most cruiserweight championship wins with 8. At this year's WrestleMania, he will be competing in a tag team match.
Rey Mysterio.
Chris, was that correct?
Oh, I don't know. You got the answers.
The correct answer was Rey Mysterio.
I'm just judging to see who said it first. So
All right.
Yeah, he marked it out.
At this point right now, Ace is leading 1-0. Are we ready for question number 2, Ace?
All right.
Frodo, you ready? All right. Question.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Question number 2.
I gotta be quicker.
This man held the Cruiserweight Championship under 2 different personas. One as a member of X Factor and one more commonly associated with DX. Sean Waltman or Six or the 1-2-3 Kid or X-Pac would have been accepted. So at this point, it's 2-0 in favor of Ace Hawkins. Now, Frodo, I got to let
Did he
you know.
say something? I didn't even hear it. It was like it cut out.
Well, here's what it is. And I was told by the Night Owl that I have to let you know. Very few people on the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge have been swept.
Yeah.
You are in dangerous territory right now, sir.
I'm in totally dangerous territory.
I'm actually one of those people that have been swept in the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge before.
So at this point, let's go ahead and get our third question out here. Let's see here. All these questions I can ask. This individual was the last recognized Cruiserweight champion before it was revived by NXT. No. This man was often recognized for coming to the ring with Fit Finlay. Name it. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 straight falls. Ace Hawkins is the winner. Hardcore Hoss, would you go ahead and hit the victory music for Ace here?
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind. Every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say that.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, as you saw, Ace Hawkins sweeping tonight's episode of the world famous
I
Wrestle
expect
Talk
you guys to have that music prepared for when I sweep them on Saturday too.
I was gonna say, is this what's gonna happen Saturday? That you're gonna take it to him and not give him any offense or anything?
Correct.
So I guess before we go, I want both of you guys to shout out your social medias and all that on that kind of stuff where we can catch your stuff. Especially Frodo. Frodo does his own music and he's got great songs that come out. So let's talk about Saturday. How about we do this? I want your final thoughts on Saturday at the Broadway Athletic Club, and I want your social media. So let's start with Ace.
My social media is just Ace Hawkins on Facebook. I'm not anywhere else. I don't have time for anywhere else. My final thoughts are, I proved it last month. My final thoughts are the same thing as my opening thoughts. I proved it last month that I am unstoppable. I prove it every single time I get in the ring that I am superior. Frodo the Ghost, you're going to step in the ring with the ace that sets the pace. You're going to stand across the ring from the ace that runs the place. And then you're going to lay on the ground while that man puts his foot on your chest and is raised in victory, the MNWA 3-time junior heavyweight champion.
Okay, Frodo, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. What is there that I can say? Plenty of things that I can say. Ace, I'm going to pay you back for knocking me out with that belt. I don't need to hit you with that belt. I just want to own it. I just want to own the shiny thing. You understand? I'm after gold. I'm after glory. And you, being a former champion such as yourself, of your caliber, and how many championships you have held, you're great. Ace, I will not take away from anything you've done. You are a damn great wrestler and a damn good competitor. But I am too hungry for you to best. And at Madness for the Gold, you're going to experience just that. Madness. Madness, Ace. And the whole MMWA audience will be laughing with me. So smile for me, Ace. And my social media, Twitter and Instagram, at Frodo the Ghost. Snapchat, Frodo the Ghost, all one word. Facebook, Frodo the Ghost -FTG. And you can find my album, Crazy Not Crazy, available on all digital music streaming platforms, from iTunes to Google Play to Spotify to whatever, all those other ones. You know, iHeartRadio, Pandora, it's out there. Get you that Crazy Not Crazy album today. And if my music that I come to the ring to, my entrance music, is featured on that album.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It goes down this Saturday night at the historic South Broadway Athletic Club. MMWA presents Madness for the Gold. It features the Junior Heavyweight Championship finals between Ace Hawkins and Frodo the Ghost. It also features the tag titles and the Heavyweight Championship up for grabs as well. So get your tickets tonight because it's going to be a packed house. I've been to Broadway the last couple of months and it's been standing room only the entire time. So Ace, Frodo, good luck to you both. Thank you very much for joining the Wrestle Talk podcast family, and we will have you guys on again soon. And good luck to you on Saturday, and may the best man win.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen. Smile for me, Ace.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right there. Frodo and Ace Hawkins are going to be settling the score this Saturday for the MMWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. And
I said all their titles are going to be on the line. They've also got in the main event. It's going to be Benjamin Trust gets a rematch against the Butcher, Damian Blade. The tag team championships, El Ride and Chris Exodus of Dragon's Guild are going to take on Mephisto and PT Beckham. And in a grudge match, Ricky Cruz is going to take down Moondog Rover. And he put out a video tonight and said he's putting down the dog. He's putting down the Moondog. So
I can tell you right now, that's one of those, Chris, that's going to be easier said than done. The Moondog is double tough. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going to be something that's going to surprise a lot of people. I have a feeling, and I'm going to go on public record right now, given things that have been going on recently, I see Saturday night a new MMWA heavyweight champion. I see Benjamin Trust. He's got too much momentum on his side. I see him taking the MMWA championship from the Butcher, Damian Blade. And guys, we would be remiss before we take care of a lot of this. We got one thing that we got to talk about before we wrap things up here tonight. And we mentioned it right at the tail end of High Spots. We wanted to make sure that we let our listeners, our viewers, be able to give their commentary as we go along here. And Hoss, hopefully we can come back to the question here. The question was, what is your take on Stone Cold Steve Austin and KO at WrestleMania? Hoss, I got to tell you, I'm throwing this one to you. You're going to be the one to start. Hopefully our technology issues have been taken care of. What are your thoughts about the whole KO Stone Cold situation?
Well, one of the main questions is, what is it going to be? I don't think anybody really knows yet what it's going to be, because the challenge was thrown out and it sounded like a challenge for a match. But I know through reading a few articles and stuff that what's been written down for WrestleMania has actually changed. And it actually changed from Stone Cold having a match to Stone Cold in a situation. So the question is, what is it really going to be? Is it going to be Stone Cold just appearing on the KO show and them getting into a skirmish there, or is it actually going to be a match? And after watching Stone Cold's reaction today, I'm not sure, but I'm kind of expecting it to be he's going to appear on the KO show, and in Stone Cold fashion, he's going to end up stunning KO and leaving him lay as he walks off.
I could also see that other Texas wrestlers come out. Maybe you'll see JBL. Maybe you'll see Booker T, Shawn Michaels. The WWE likes to get the legends involved in WrestleMania. Just kind of like they deal with they're doing with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is going to take on Austin Theory, and Vince McMahon is going to somehow be involved in that match. So I mean, I don't know if I really want a close to 75-year-old man wrestling, but of course we did just see Sting at Revolution. So I mean, it's going to be good. Some people say they're not looking forward to WrestleMania this year. I am, because it's the biggest event of the year. You have to look forward to it. So
well, Chris, I got to tell you right now, regardless of whether it's a match or a KO show, I got to tell you it's going to be entertaining. That's one thing that we've grown to love about Stone Cold Steve Austin, is the man is always entertaining, and KO just has that quick wit. A lot of people compare Kevin Owens to Steve Austin as to how quick that wit is. And I'm going to tell you, regardless of what happens, whether it's a match, it's an interview, it's KO show, whatever, it's going to be something that wrestling fans are going to talk about. And I'm going to tell you right now, WrestleMania is starting to take shape. And like I said, you would have asked me that about a week ago, I don't know where I would have stood. But I'm going to tell you right now, WrestleMania is the showcase of the Immortals. It is the grandest stage of them all. And the WWE always makes it a point not to disappoint. And I think this year, with everything the way that it is, I think this year the WWE is going to deliver. Just like the Wrestle Talk podcast delivered tonight, a great interview with Tim Miller, a face-to-face confrontation with Frodo and Ace Hawkins prior to their match this Saturday. We had a lot of great stuff to talk about. We talked about IWAP. We talked about the fact Dynamo Pro Wrestling will be coming back March 26th. Lethal Lottery, we're going to talk a little more about that next week. We're also going to have some more great guests coming on the program here in the upcoming weeks. Hoss, real quick before we go, I know we want to thank our great viewers who've been watching the show here tonight. Also want to thank our great sponsors, without who the
we would exist.
Podcast does not go the way that it normally would be. Everything Combat, King K at Arcade, Esports Bar Kansas City, Interstate 70 Sports Media, Royal Mills Transportation, Painter's Dream Productions, the host of our great website, Rathbun Engraving, the host of those WTP mugs, Mi Fiesta KC Party Rentals, Noble Men's Barber Lounge KC, ask for Pete the Barber, and the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide chapter. Gentlemen, I got to tell you right now, yet again this week, another great episode. We inch ever closer to episode 400. Guys, what would you say was the best part of tonight? Chris?
I think both interviews were great. It was great seeing getting the lowdown from Ace and Frodo about their big and then about learning about Slam Buddies. I mean, those Slam Buddies, they kind of take you back to the day when WWE put out the Wrestling Buddy. You know what I mean? So hopefully people respond to that and grab up their Slam Buddies of their favorite local professional wrestlers.
That is true.
And if you buy an Ed Smith Slam Buddy, it won't chop you as hard.
That is true. Hoss, what's your take for tonight?
Once again, it was just a great show all around. Enjoyed listening to all the guests that we had and learning more about them. And, I think the Wrestle Talk family actually is really enjoying these face-offs. I think they're really liking those. And I think they're really something unique that we've been doing with those. So.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I think that would be one of the big things. Also, being able to have a chance to sit down and talk with Tim Miller. And just to let you know, for those that were making comments earlier on, we are working on the Tim Miller Road Stories episode here at the Wrestle Talk podcast. That's going to be one I'm definitely going to tune in and hopefully get a chance to be a part of. Like I said, it was a great show from top to bottom. I have to say that it's always a pleasure being alongside you, Hoss, Rodell. You and I have been friends for a long time. It's always great to be in the commentary booth, be alongside you here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now. Also,
and apparently, I just got something put on my calendar. The meeting between us and the I don't know if you've seen the email yet, but apparently we got to meet with the Snitch sometime tomorrow or Thursday. So.
Oh my!
He wants to. He's continuing to negotiate his deal to come on the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Oh, I get you completely. Like I said, it's going to be another one of those wonderful long meetings that we'll have with the Snitch's legal representation. I'm looking forward to it, but that's okay. It's kind of comes with the territory, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. Also, as a reminder, besides all the great wrestling promotions we talked about tonight, make it a point on. I believe it's Sunday. May the 1st. Let me double check here and make sure my date is correct. Sunday, May 1st, Midwest Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We're hoping once again this year to have the opportunity to have some of the inductees on the program this year. We're hoping to have them on in the month of April. Again, great show from top to bottom, guys. Went a little bit over time. Most fans have kind of grown to expect us to go just a little bit longer than normal, but you know what? That's what makes the Wrestle Talk podcast such a great place to be every Tuesday night. If you have ideas, you have guest suggestions, you have anything you want to share with the Wrestle Talk podcast, make it a point to follow us on social media. Let us know. We're always willing to try our best to make sure we can get people here on the program that the members of the Wrestle Talk podcast family would like to have here on the program. Guys, I got to tell you, it's been a great night. We're looking forward to this Thursday, FWWC, 7:30 Central, 8:30 East Coast, and then right back here this coming Tuesday. I believe next week the Night Owl will be joining us again, and I believe
is Dick
got
Douglas
out there with the State of the Union.
Is Dick Douglas coming down from his ivory tower?
Might be, I don't know, but we're going to find out next Tuesday right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. For Luke Roberts, for Chris Rodell, and for Hardcore Hoss, we want to say thank you for tuning in this week. We look forward to seeing you this Tuesday night. It's coming Tuesday night right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Thank you very much and have a great evening.